The Isle After Party is sponsored by David Mellor Family Jewellers. We are Hampshire's trusted family jeweller for nearly 50 years. From engagement rings and wedding bands to cufflinks, bridesmaids gifts and engraving. We have everything you need to celebrate your special day in style. Discover our offering in-store or online and let David Mellor Family Jewellers add a little extra sparkle to your love story.
Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Isle After Party. This episode is to do with wedding dramas. So, first of all, in case you've forgotten, I'm Adam from A Night Tale Photography.
I'm Amber from Amber Butler Photography.
I'm Harry from ID Flex Wedding Videography.
I'm Dean John. You had to think about it.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm Dean John, event planner, host, DJ, content creator, and
keep going.
just general nice guy.
Brilliant. Okay, cool. Well, that's half the episode gone. Based on so this is about like wedding dramas, disasters. So most wedding disasters are only disasters because the couple knows the plan. Okay, so a lot of guests wouldn't even notice if there was a disaster or if anything went wrong. So what's something couples panic over that guests genuinely don't notice? Do you think? So I'll give you an example. So what about music starting late? So bride's just about to walk down the aisle.
Yeah, I can. The thing is, a wedding is the bride's kind of dream, like fairy tale kind of moment, right?
Yeah.
So in their head, it's got to be perfect, but it's not something that any of the guests are ever going to remember. If the music, I've had it before where the bride's walking down the aisle and it sounds like the music's coming from someone's phone because the staff are maybe of the older persuasion and they don't realise they haven't connected the Bluetooth yet, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just this really faint music coming through and you could see her face, but at the same time, nobody gave a shit. It was still an amazing wedding, probably one of the best weddings I've shot.
Yeah.
And that's not something that sticks out in my mind.
No, exactly. No. What about you? That you can think of?
Not really.
Great.
Well, I just think there's little things.
The thing is,
like,
though, that
I've
would
had-
annoy me, the music you said about Harry.
Yeah,
like,
but
that's sticking out in my head and it's sticking out in yours because you just brought it up.
Yeah, because it was triggered by...
Sorry, they
by
spent
Adam saying-
20k on their wedding but forgot someone to manage their music or have a live singer.
Yeah, I know,
At
but-
the crucial point of their wedding.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
I've had ones where like, I had one where their meal was completely different to what they had ordered.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would...
I've had that when they were vegans.
Oh,
And they got
yeah.
meat. They got meat dishes plonked right in front of them.
I think you've
Exactly.
mentioned it before on Everything,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But then, I don't
Imagine
think
that.
the guest. It doesn't affect the guests. Like they still enjoyed their meal.
I did
whatever
a
they
wedding
got.
where the maid of
But-
honour
Apart from the vegan ones.
was
Yeah, apart from the vegan
late
ones.
for the
Yeah.
wedding, and the guests noticed because that was like the bride was ready, the maid of honour wasn't, and it probably half an hour, 35 minutes. The registrars were in the room at that point. They'd unpacked their briefcases, and still, so everyone was a little bit twitchy, like they were sitting in an aeroplane stuck on a
The
runway.
thing is, though, you know, the wedding can proceed without a maid of honour, can't it? Like, I know she's going to be like walking down the aisle and stuff, but at the same time, like, yeah, that's just going to be one. Like in years to come, they're going to be on the piss or whatever, and it's going to be like, do you remember that time when you couldn't even fucking turn up to my wedding? Like,
Yeah.
and it will be a joke, but like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think that's something that they would ever like, you know, divide friendships over.
No,
Well,
and I think like when there's like a bit of a timeline delay, especially, you know, to do with the ceremony. If the ceremony's supposed to be at 1, obviously all the guests are seated from 1:45 anyway. They're all sat there, you know, it gets to 1:05 and they're like, okay. And they're probably not that bothered in the grand scheme of things. The only people that are bothered are probably the registrars because they might have another wedding to go to.
Yeah.
And maybe the groom's getting a bit twitchy, thinking, God, you know,
the chef.
has she done a runner?
The chef.
Well,
Okay.
okay.
Impact on the rest
I
of the
don't know if the chef will be getting twitchy at that point.
The chef won't have
They
a
probably
clue.
wouldn't have even
That's
turned
it,
up to work
yeah.
at that point. But
I hope so. If they were literally about to deliver at 80 people cover in an hour and a half after that,
Well, yeah, maybe. But no, I just think that
ready meals otherwise.
the guests aren't really they're not gonna remember that, are they? If the bride's 10 minutes, 15 minutes late, they're not gonna remember that. It's just a bit annoying.
Yeah.
She
As soon
was
as the ceremony's
45 minutes late down the aisle, though. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
I've done
because the maid of
30.
honour was in the
Yeah,
shower
that's
while the bride was ready after her interview as well. I'm
Okay,
not
so
talking
that-
about.
Did
That
she
would-
wait for her?
Yeah.
I know,
But-
I'd have just sat there off and just
Was
went.
this because there weren't enough makeup artists and hairstylists on the day, and the maid of honour was just the last in line?
There was only a maid of honour and the bride.
Okay, that's not
Oh.
too smart.
2.
Yeah.
so even more important that she went down then,
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be awkward otherwise.
because otherwise 50% of the people weren't there.
I know of a wedding. I didn't do it personally, but they had like food vendors turning up like in the evening, and no one turned up, so they had to just order a load of Dominoes.
All right.
Yeah.
That was quite a nice.
But
backup
again,
plan.
Have
I
you seen
don't
that on
think the
TikTok
guests
with the
would mind
McDonald's
that.
where they bring in loads of McDonald's to the
Yeah.
wedding breakfast and put it out everywhere?
Yeah.
I think it was burger vans and stuff, but they didn't turn up.
I'm really torn about that idea, to be fair.
Oh, for the evening though, I think.
Oh,
if
for the
you
evening,
hired
for
like
the
a
evening.
marquee and did it
That's-
all really a la
Oh
carte
yeah, it
during the
wasn't
day
like their
and the
main
evening.
thing.
Like,
It
if you
was-
actually paid McDonald's to come in and they had like a counter and there was a menu behind and it was just like, and all the prices just said 0 next to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And you could maybe even go up to one of those electric kind of,
They are, isn't it?
that's it, next thing.
Everyone gets McFlurry.
Order number 69. right.
Do you guys ever see the evening buffet?
Oh, yeah,
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
You do, yeah?
occasionally.
not often. But
I see it- I
obviously,
see it
I've been
coming out.
I've been to weddings as a guest,
Yeah.
so I'm not oblivious to a buffet. But yeah, not as much as you, obviously. But you probably don't see a lot of brides getting ready either. So it works both ways, doesn't it?
A few.
Yeah, that's true actually.
When I'm hosting a wedding, I see them get. Well, I try not to watch them get ready, but yeah,
And I don't mean that in a creepy way. Watching the bride get ready.
Keep them Tom.
Yeah, sorry, that sounds a bit weird.
It swings and roundabouts because we also got to see the grooms get ready as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But they're normally dressed by the time we go in there, which is great.
True.
You know. But yeah, talking about that's a good segue actually. People getting dressed in the morning. So I did a wedding once, and so normally, so just picture the scene. Normally, when I arrive a couple of hours before the ceremony, I'll turn up to wherever the bride's getting ready, whether it be at the venue, a hotel, or a house, and they're all wearing like these nice silk gowns with their, bride on the back or whatever. There's hair and makeup artists, there's music on, and everyone's, having their hair and makeup done. And it's a really nice atmosphere in a beautiful setting, generally. Anyway, this one particular time, I turned up at the bride's house. It was a very small lounge, okay? It smelt of wet dog. I think it was wet dog anyway, it might have been something else. But anyway, so that wasn't a good start. It was really dark. And rather than having like a pretty bridesmaid helping her do the back of her dress up, it was her brother, who was a big guy, just in his pants.
Okay.
So I had to get nice photos of this big guy in his pants doing at the back of his sister's dress in this room that I couldn't even move while the smell was overwhelming me.
No,
so
one, no one will be able to narrow that wedding down, will they? When you start talking about that. Wow. Seriously, you might as well say the address.
And cut.
Yeah.
So, wedding drama.
Did you not suggest
Drama after.
the
How is that a drama
brother
anyway?
to?
It was a drama for me.
You've just
all right?
been dying to get that off your chest for years,
I
haven't
have. No, it was a drama for me because I had to like make a
Did
good
you not
situation.
suggest the brother to
Just
get
do it
some
up.
trousers on, or
Well, I didn't want to be rude.
Or do
So,
it up and then get someone else to pretend that they've done it.
No,
like
I-
we do with the old
I just
man.
did some close-ups of his
buttonholes.
hands.
Oh.
I didn't get a wide. Let's put it this way: I didn't get a wide shot, right? So yeah, that was a wedding drama from my point of view. Okay, I mean, I could talk all day about that particular wedding in terms of the dramas that happened, but we haven't got long enough. So what about other issues like when the cake is leaning slightly? I mean, I've had that a few times, especially in the summer.
I think that's that. So that would just not necessarily be drama, but that would be stress. Like, because in my head, I'm like, that cake needs to be cut before it can't be cut anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like,
What?
well,
Before it's a
if
mess.
it falls over, then it won't be cut, will it? It'll be splat.
Oh, I see what you mean. Right. Okay.
So that's why sometimes I've seen like cakes kind of starting to subside, and I'm like, Maybe we should bring the cake cut forward a little bit.
Yeah, like
And then-
6 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it's always, I mean, shout out to all the cake makers. It's not usually the cake makers. It's usually when like the aunt makes the cake or someone they know make the cake. Then that's often when I find that happens.
Yeah.
It's very rare that a professional cake maker has that. cake.
Yeah, very rare. But yeah, I've had one where it wasn't necessarily the cake maker's fault, but where the cake was, it was like in the window, and it was a summer's day, and the sun was just shining on it all day, and it was just started to kind of like sink into itself.
I had
Yeah.
one where the nan made it the other week, but they had travelled with the cake and then they were staying overnight before, so they didn't have a fridge to put the cake in. It was still January, like it was still cold, so
Yeah.
they left it in their car, but it's still...
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Just
Was-
want to eat a nice piece of cake from a car.
Have you ever had
They
a?
might as well
still
served it
was-
from the
it's
boot and
still
done
like-
the cake out from the bonnet.
Tasted
What? Yeah.
tastes like petrol.
Like
Class,
you could,
class.
like parts of it was like
Have you ever had a cake
melted.
subsidence, like as in a full cake disaster?
I've had one where they've cut and it's completely mashed through.
Oh really?
Like two massive,
Really?
yeah, two massive
Because it got too hot.
naked cakes. So yeah, a big naked cake cut down. It was too hot, and it just literally the knife went through and it just went splurted everywhere.
As in like it was undercooked and raw.
No, just like it was just mush after.
Oh.
So yeah,
God.
but it was good for the photographer.
I've had it where
Good
they went
capture.
to cut, but then they were nervous, and the last minute they went like that, and then instead of cutting like into the cake, they cut a slice off the edge, and then it just fell off like that, which just made it funny. It wasn't drama; they found it funny.
Have
Everyone
you
else
had
did.
many couples that have smashed it in each other's faces, and you think,
No,
what
usually,
are you doing?
Not
usually
enough,
just the
not
dollop
enough.
on the nose.
No.
It's usually the
I
icing.
can't get over that. 'Cause you're about
icing
to do
on
your
the
first dance, and you're in like the most probably best outfit the Blake's worn all his life, and then she's like rubbed the
Yeah,
whole
but-
cake around. It's gone all
Yeah,
over
but
his
it's just
car.
like an impulse thing, isn't
But
it?
also that.
Yeah.
So I think it's about knowing your audience there, right?
I'd be fuming.
Yeah, but like, so your missus would know you'd be fuming, right?
Yeah.
So
I'd probably drop
someone-
kick her.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I presume your missus didn't do that.
I'd be up for it, but not
Make your mind
at
up.
that moment,
You
knowing
can
that 2 seconds later I'm just about to do my first.
Let's
If
bring
it
the cake
was-
to the bedroom, babe.
Yeah.
No, but that's all
Smash
right.
that
You can
cake
smash
on
it
me.
in my
Or
face
if it was
later.
like 11 o'clock at night, it was the last thing we did before we were done, then that's fine. But just to be in like sticky cake.
Yeah, but I
Clothes.
think when you're cutting it, it's like an impulse thing. Like, oh, I just really want to just chuck
Did
this in
you
his
do that
face.
when you were in Lapland?
No.
Be like
The
throwing
cake
an
was
ice cube.
frozen, wasn't it?
So,
That's all drama.
knocked him out.
How do you think you cut a cake?
Knocked him out.
so what would she have done if you smashed a cake in her face?
I probably would have just got a ring and went just through the ring.
Would you have been like an almond and then gone?
So she doesn't like having.
No, he's saying this, what would she have done?
Mate, she loves things all over
she
her
doesn't
face,
like-
but not
so-
at that time. Not
So,
at that
so
time.
she doesn't mind cream in her face.
She loves it.
Yeah, she
But
loves.
just not in
she
front of
loves-
200 people
Okay.
a minute before you first dance.
On behalf of your husband, Natalie, I'd like to apologise.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, as a photographer, I would love people to smash cake in each other's face more often. 'Cause
Yeah.
I crave that. Like, crazy.
You wait, you're going to set a trend.
I
You're going to set a trend.
I
Every
want-
couple now is just going to absolutely.
You are a
I want a
sinister
I want a
fucker, you
food
are.
fight every fucking wedding, right? But no, the thing
As
is,
long as I'm not anywhere near the food.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
don't touch.
Right.
Yeah, leave my camera alone. But no, I want them to smash each other's face and just then push the cake over. You know,
You're
imagine-
well up for that.
Imagine
Yeah,
the
but
photos.
that's a little bit like the champagne spray, right? And it's like, you know, everyone else gets covered. We don't get covered. Spray it at the camera, but we're far enough away.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I don't want any part of it. I just want to capture it.
Exactly. So let's talk about weather meltdowns, okay? So like, I think rain causes more stress than family members do. So do you think bad weather is actually a problem, or do you think couples create the chaos themselves?
I think
I think
it's one of those.
suppliers also can be the
Suppliers?
issue.
True.
Yeah, because if you work with some photographers or videographers and they're like getting aggy about it and they're like, oh, I've got all these photos to do and I've only
only
got
time-
45 minutes to do it and now look at the weather.
The only
It's like,
time I would
brilliant.
get aggy about it is if it had been raining all day and suddenly there's a break in the clouds and I'm like, guys, we've got an opportunity to get out now and get some, because like the sun's just coming out.
Yeah.
And then if they weren't up for it, it's their wedding, right? So I don't care. You do what you want to do. But like, that's the only time I'd be like, oh, this is a shame. But for the most part, you can't control the weather, so don't fucking stress about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's all
agree.
right for suppliers to bitch about it between each other.
Yeah, but not.
Like if I was
would
working
never
with
do it.
Amber, I might be like, "Oh God's sake, it's raining."
I'd never.
But I
moan
wouldn't
at
say
the
to the
couple.
bride and groom.
No, hell
Yeah,
no.
of course.
You've got to be cool, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to be like, "Don't worry about it. We've got some
Yeah.
umbrellas. It's fine."
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the venue as well. If they've got nice areas inside, you're fine.
Yeah.
Can be quite stressful when they want
That
family
does-
photos
I
and
will
there
say,
isn't really
though,
anywhere.
Considering the country we live in, I do find that a lot of venues struggle with inside spaces
Yeah.
that can
Be a nice backdrop.
be a good substitute for
Yeah.
outdoor kind of photo shoots. Like you
Right.
would have thought that would be something that they'd focus on, but everywhere's really dark.
Yeah.
Like white balance is always
Maybe
off,
they just want their
and the
family
lights are
photos
always
done.
banding
but-
on the lights.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's definitely something that could do with some improvement.
Yeah, massively.
I mean, considering like the weather we've had this year, which has been awful, I had 2 weddings in February, and one of them was like a beautiful sunny day, and the other one it was a bit cold, but it was dry, and I was like, so how lucky is that? Like in February. So yeah, I just think, and then you get weddings in August where it
Yeah.
hammers it down all day.
Well, August is like one of the most unreliable months, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I agree. Like
Like
So-
May, I think is like the one.
yeah.
May is
Shout out to all our May couples.
April, May.
Yeah.
I think April's pretty good.
May's good for so many reasons. You got 2 bank holidays,
Yeah.
and there's usually a half term in there as well, so all the teachers can go and get their married weddings on. Get their weddings on. And yeah, and the weather's usually banging as well. And also, some lucky people can do May the 4th. Yeah.
Do you get that reference?
Just so they can say May the 4th.
Yeah.
Be
No.
with you.
Oh, there we are. That's
Whatever
it.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speak up a bit. Okay. So
I could just get told off.
So regarding bad weather, just talk about that for a bit longer. So I've had weddings where the ceremony was going to be outside.
I'm Michael Fish, mate, aren't you?
You what? You were talking about weather.
Sure.
Yeah, it's currently,
Today's gonna be cloudy.
It's currently a little bit sunny. No, so basically, like I've had weddings where the ceremony was supposed to be outside, and then literally, clouds come over and they've had to move all the chairs inside, and some venues,
Some
are prepared
venues are
for
like
that.
well-oiled machines. Like
Yeah.
they can flip like in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but then some aren't.
Some aren't. No.
So it's. I mean, do you like an outdoor ceremony?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it because
Either.
of the amount of space you have to work with usually.
Yeah.
Like just, quite often when you get put in these little tiny rooms and you've got a flower arch
Yeah.
and you've got, like, I don't know, a musician and then you've got the other registrar, what are they called? The other one.
Celebrant.
No. The one that sat on the table,
Oh, I see what you mean.
the legal bit one.
Sorry.
The
yeah.
legal
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
They're there, and then there might be like a little area for readings and stuff, and suddenly you're just so cramped in.
I know.
Whereas outdoor, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the only problem with outdoor is sometimes if it's like really sunny, all the guests are like squinting, they're sweating,
Yeah.
and the light can be a bit harsh, especially if the sun's like coming from behind the bride as she walks down the aisle. So sometimes
for
the
me,
sun
my
can be a bit shit.
biggest sort of problem with outdoor is usually the wind. With the microphones, that's usually
okay.
like
Yeah.
that can be a killer.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And also another thing I like about outdoor weddings as well is people do the confetti shot while they're walking back down the aisle, so
Oh.
it kind of kills 2 birds with one stone.
Yeah, but I don't like that. I
Okay.
like that you have the aisle walk, and then you have the confetti shot as well because it's extra stuff for us, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
because I like how you're walking. They walk out down the aisle, and when there's no confetti, there's somebody will give you someone will give the groom a fist pump or whatever, and then like the bride will like have a little smile or a smirk at someone or like, and it's like this nice moment that you have with your guests because
Yeah.
it's the first time the bride's actually making eye contact with most of their guests, right?
Yeah.
And then the next time when it's like confetti, people, their hands are full with confetti, the bride and groom are just doing this. They're not actually looking at any of the guests. So I like the 2 different situations because they do have different purposes.
And we
Yeah.
also like groom and groom weddings, don't we? When they both do it, so it's not just the brides.
When they both do what?
Same-sex weddings, we're a fan
Yeah,
of
when
those.
they both do what?
We'll walk back down the aisle.
Oh, okay.
Big throw.
Okay. Yeah, I always give them the option. I say, do you want to do the confetti when you walk back down, or do we just set up a separate shot afterwards? But I've done 2 weddings. Actually, they were both in a row randomly, where the bride and groom forgot to bring the confetti. and I had to Photoshop it in afterwards.
I think confetti's
yeah.
going to stop soon, and bubbles is going to be the main thing.
Bubbles rubbish.
That's what I think is going to happen.
No, bubbles.
Because a lot of couples now are just getting to the point that they have just got confetti everywhere, all down there, and it's just they're itching halfway through photo, and they're annoyed.
Yeah,
Not if they get like rice
What I
paper
don't get
stuff
is
or
they've spent all
something,
that money
or
on their makeup,
real
the bride
petal.
for instance, and got all ready in their hair and it's all immaculate and they're looking the best they're going to look and they walk down the aisle and then 25 minutes later you'll just might as well get eggs and throw that out.
But you're talking about this as if it's only a new thing. Like,
No,
confetti's been
I know
around
it's
for
not a new thing, but
hundreds of
what I'm
years.
saying
It
is,
depends
it's
on
like
what
I've noticed it in the
confetti
last 3 weddings I've done, the couples are getting aggy about it because they are literally spending most of like their drinks reception for the first 15 minutes finding it everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Question-
I think
Question for you, Amber. Is there a risk that bubbles can ruin makeup and stuff like that? Or is it too...
Yeah.
So would that not be more of a disaster?
but your hair's ruined because there's bits like
Yeah, but
right
it
in.
depends
Yeah,
on
but-
what
but
confetti.
the
If
thing
you're
is-
using like rice confetti, like the bits that
The
look
one that
like,
goes absolutely everywhere.
like
and there's
looks
like the
nits
little
in your
round
hair.
ones.
Yeah, pointless.
Like, don't use that. It's not colourful. It's not great. But if you use like rice paper or real petals,
Yeah,
they're easy to pick out.
Yeah, real petals, but there's not very many weddings you do real petals. Usually it's
No,
a
but the
TV
rice
stuff
paper
that
ones-
has the stuff that just flies for about an hour.
yeah. I just don't think bubbles get picked up very well on camera, especially
No.
if it's windy.
I'm
and-
not saying that they're
It's
just-
great and they're good. I'm just saying that couples are getting annoyed.
No,
Because
you
especially
work-
your mate who just drops it right down your back like that.
I've told you about touching me.
Sorry, mate, one more time. Your legs rubbing mine the whole time.
Well, your legs...
Bubbles,
Anyway, carry
yeah,
on.
no.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about weather. I mean, look, if it rains or if it's too windy or if it's a thunderstorm or a tornado, whatever, like the weather isn't a personal attack on you. Okay, you just got to adapt. Don't let it ruin your day, because the amount of brides and grooms I've had that have really, really gone on about the weather, and I'm like, just enjoy the day. Don't worry about it. Do you know what I mean? I know it's July. I know it's rained. I know you're a bit disappointed.
They're more
but-
disappointed they spent £4,000 extra for a Saturday in July. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but-
that's
But
actually,
lucky
to be
though,
fair,
it
that's
rains.
true.
Oh yeah, and the sausages. Do you plant sausages?
Move
Is
to,
that
move to
true?
Greece.
Everyone did
Move
that
to
last
Greece.
year.
Have you not seen that?
Come on, don't
Yeah.
tell me you don't know
Not
about that.
Same thing
You
at the
bury a
moment.
sausage the day before,
Have you never buried a sausage?
and it's meant to be good. It's supposed to.
Like a
so-
real sausage.
yeah.
You love a sausage, so how are you literally
You love
not
burying
burying
a sausage.
What do you mean? What, you cook a sausage?
No, raw.
So what?
I've been
Frozen.
to I've been to a venue, right, where they have a
had sausages
sausage
out?
burial site.
No.
So, yeah, because they have like,
What's the story behind it?
well, it's just like a wives' tale, isn't it? But like,
Why a
I
sausage?
don't know.
Open
I
a
don't-
sausage tree.
I need
Right.
to know
Well,
what this is about.
yeah, you know,
But like they've got, because quite often animals will like dig it up and stuff, so they've got a designated area for burying the sausages, so that they can then come around like once every couple of days and undig the sausages.
Amber thinks
Have a
you're
little
joking
sausage
as well.
pie. No, it's true.
We're serious.
yeah.
No.
It's just a
Yeah.
tradition. If you bury a sausage, the weather will be good the next day.
Oh.
You never heard of that?
No. Does it always work?
To be fair, it's got a pretty good
It
success
depends,
rate
what,
for me.
it depends what sausage it is.
Yeah, because I've never buried one, and it's
Yeah.
no. To be fair, like the last couple of years, there's been loads
Is
of
it
brides
every
have done
time
it.
before a wedding
But
you go and bury a
but
sausage
no,
to
the
make
thing
sure the
is,
weather's all good?
What's
the
funny
next
though
day?
is every time I've said like to a bride like, oh, did you bury a sausage last night? She's like, no, I checked the weather. There's no point. it's gonna rain. Like, there's no point. Whereas everyone that checks the weather and it's gonna be sunny, they're like, we buried a sausage just in case. So
I
success
used
is
to
always.
start asking my couples if they've been burying sausages.
Literally. Maybe you should offer it when you do the pre-shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take a pack of Linda McCartney's with you.
Yeah, to a
Richmond.
full like
Yeah, I
full
don't know- I
like
don't know if-
service.
Or Altons. Altons do great sausages.
I don't know
No,
if vegan
Linda
sausage
isn't
is right.
real sausage, though, is it?
But you
Yeah,
might
yeah.
have a vegan
Yeah, you
bride
can't have a
or groom.
veggie sausage.
A corn sausage is not going to have the same effect.
No, it's
It
true.
needs to be like a pork one.
Yeah, and
does.
apparently Waitrose,
It's to do with
Waitrose
the
ones
pig.
work better than like Tesco value ones or
It's
whatever.
something to do with.
It depends
with
on the pig and
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Maybe you should bury the
All
pig.
right.
Okay, so next segment's about family drama. Okay, so like for example, if your parents don't speak, your wedding isn't going to fix that. Okay, so the question is like that's an example. Should couples actively manage family tension or just let adults sort themselves out? Because you know it's not their they've got enough on their plate, mate.
Yeah, I think they're grown ups. I think you've got enough stress going on your own wedding day.
Yeah.
I think it's selfish of any of the guests that want to make that day about them for any reason.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any excuse for there to be any animosity or
Yeah.
bad kind of vibes on a wedding day. Everyone needs to come with their A game,
Yeah.
regardless.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I've done group photos a couple of times, and I wasn't fully like keyed up on terms of like who's divorced from who and who. Do you know what I mean? And I've set the group photo up, and then the dad and the ex-wife I put next to each other without realising, obviously. And they made a bit of a scene. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were divorced. Do you know what I mean? Or I put the new stepmom next to the old mum or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes people aren't very transparent about the situation. They expect me to be psychic in terms of like knowing who likes who and who doesn't like who.
Yeah.
So be a bit clearer. If it is an issue, just be a bit clearer about it.
Yeah, like in your pre-wedding
If people book
meeting.
me for the day, I always ask the
Yeah.
question, like, especially for the
good
ceremony.
Good for you. Good for
In
you.
my pre-wedding
Yeah,
meeting,
so
I
if
will
I've
go
got to see
through
them.
it.
So if I'm seeing like stepmum with dad and they're not together, or it's carnage.
But then sometimes I just like to watch the world burn.
No, in the pre-wedding meeting, I will go through it all and I will get everyone's names and know who's who, and then hopefully there won't be any drama.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, and what about like guests that they might start drinking a bit too early? Like I've noticed a few.
I've had a groomsman that had to go in before the ceremony.
Bloody hell!
Yeah.
That's good going.
I've had a guest carried out literally at about 6 o'clock in the evening, just as the evening has started.
That's because he heard your music.
Because she literally. What a prick.
No, I know. I'm
prick.
joking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
She
you
got carried
remember?
out.
No, you don't.
She was getting heckled. The bride was getting heckled on her wedding day by this guest who was standing up during dinner.
Oh, see, I want more weddings like that.
See, I think it's quite entertaining, so I'm
Yeah.
kind of
Imagine when the bride's doing a
Here
speech and
for-
someone gets up and
Do you know?
start.
Do you know what I
Not for me,
hate
that.
it, right? During speeches, when there are heckling, like when there's like, I don't mind the odd one liner or whatever, but when
because
some
you're
people,
recording it though,
yeah, but
isn't
some
it?
people try and make it about them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then what's annoying is in my videos when I'm making them, they're not mic'd up, the cameras aren't pointed at them, so it just creates this really awkward moment where everyone's looking off camera. You can't hear what they're saying,
Yeah, I know.
and everyone either laughs or says "shut up."
Whatever.
It's-
It doesn't matter, does it? Like, yeah.
So it's just like, kickback
well, yeah, could be. Who knows?
and cut.
Is it fair to police grown adults?
You shouldn't have to.
No, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't. And if you're a parent, or a divorced parent, or whatever, and you're making a scene on your son or daughter's wedding day, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not about you. Okay. So some like in terms of like wedding timing, like we did touch upon this earlier. Like weddings rarely run on time. The real question is whether that matters.
Adam really runs on time right now.
Why have I got this reputation for being late? I've never been late to a wedding, all right? So what's worse, like running late or killing the vibe to stay on schedule?
Depends.
Okay.
So, for example, this is a quick fire, isn't it?
No?
Okay, good. So I can.
But you can be
elaborate.
quick as you want. I mean,
So, it depends because usually when something's delayed, it comes at the cost of something else, right?
Yeah.
So if you have time in the day, like an evening reception that's kind of a little bit, too long anyway, then fine. Or if you don't mind your food coming out cold, then fine, right? But usually when things are late or delayed, it comes at the cost of something else. And if you've got a jam-packed, fun day,
yeah.
something's got to go.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's, a lot of suppliers are based on hours. So, it would be unfair to expect a photographer or whatever to stay longer than their hours without them, having a full right to charge you extra
That
for
fucking winds me up. That winds
I don't
that,
do it- I don't do it
That
personally.
has got to be one of the biggest pet heaves from a supplier
Pet
to
what?
a supplier.
Pet peeves. Pet peeve.
Peeves.
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 Not heaves. Not like
This will be an Instagram.
pet peeves
Yeah.
You know what I meant.
or pet hates.
No, nobody
Fucking
did.
things that annoy me.
Yeah, well, that's a pet peeve of mine. People who can't talk properly.
God.
Seriously, mate.
Anyway, carry on.
Spell peeve.
Peeve?
Yeah.
PWEVES.
There we are.
You weren't going to say that. You're not peeve.
She interrupted.
Anyway, that's my pet hate when a photographer's there. It's like 7 o'clock. The first dance is 7:15, and he's like, "Oh well, I've only got 14 minutes and I'm
I
pretty
don't do
much
that.
done.
I don't do
I'm
that.
like, mate, you've been paid $2,500 and you're pissed off that you've got to stay for an extra 5 minutes because the
Yeah.
bride's just having golden hour shots. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So any photographer that does it by an hour needs to change their model.
No,
And
gotta
they
be
need to
flexible.
go to the first
Yeah.
dance, and then if the couple want you for the day, the first dance is your cut off, surely.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
And
that's
charging them an extra invoiced hour because they were there 5 minutes after their first dance
no, I'm not.
is
thinking about it.
crazy.
No.
No, I always say I'll stay till about half an hour after first dance,
Yeah.
so I can get loads of dancing shots. And 99% of the time, I've never had an issue. Okay, I think the latest I've ever been out of a wedding is probably like 9 o'clock. Apart from one wedding where the bride and groom had a massive argument just after the speeches. She went off to her room and she was in there for like 2 hours. The cake cutting was delayed. The first dance was delayed. And the groom said to me, you can just go home if you want. I don't know if she's coming back. And I said, I can't go home. I can't. I've got to do the last 2 things, the cut and the cake and the first dance. So I hung around.
Is there
and just-
anyone else? Is there anyone else around that can cut the cake with you?
Yeah, well, no. So I waited 2 hours, right, for her to come out. And it got to like 9 o'clock and I was just about to be like, right, I've got to draw a line somewhere. And then she comes out of her hotel room, you know, and then I'm like, right, can you cut the cake now, please?
They're going to know who this is too, aren't they?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they know because it happened.
true, it
Yeah,
happened.
I'm not having
And,
a go.
and you are a legend
No,
because
I-
you stayed 2 hours
Yeah.
without sending an invoice.
Yeah, and
That's
I
why
was,
you are a Knight's Tale.
And they're still together, in case you're wondering. No, there was such a lovely
Shut
couple.
up.
They were such a lovely couple. I thought, look, they've had a little argument, and I'm not going to miss those 2 important points of the day because they've had an argument. She comes back, they cut the cake, cool. First dance, she said, I'm not dancing with him.
Did she actually?
Yeah. So,
Love that.
so I'm glad I waited. But anyway, but no, they're
I'll
fine
cut the
now.
cake because I'm hungry, but I'm not dancing.
So she ended up dancing with a maid of honour or whatever. Anyway, so what about like we talked about dramas and mistakes and weather and stuff, but what about like vendor mistakes, right? So like even great vendors mess up. And we mentioned like,
No, don't.
I mean, look, none of us have ever messed up, right?
Exactly.
But what about if a DJ plays the wrong version of a song? Like,
I hear that though. I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Like photographers, like, oh, you never guessed what happened last week. He was about to play the song and he played a complete different Ed Sheeran track to what they asked for.
Yeah.
And then they looked at him and he couldn't change it because he didn't get the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi wouldn't download the track.
I've had
I'm
that.
like. But then you spend 150 quid on your entertainment all night.
Yeah.
You're going to have a guy turn up with a light on his head and ask for a table and put his like iPad on it. That's
yeah,
it's the
Yeah.
same thing, isn't it?
yeah.
And it happens, but people, it annoys me because people always want to save money on certain things, and music and entertainment is always like you talked
What they
about
need
the
is a pie
ceremony.
chart, right? With the
I'll tell you that
Oh, God.
spreadsheet.
Oh, God.
That would be good to work out what is more important
Yeah.
to them.
No, we should make an app.
I think it
Yeah.
should be Harry.
I think I mentioned another episode about the magician that turned up really hungover, smelt of alcohol, and then disappeared, which wasn't part of his act. So that was definitely his problem. So well, I've got some questions. So Jake from Surrey, what's the biggest? What?
Right.
Amber's laughing at Jake from Surrey.
Whereabouts in Surrey?
You didn't specify actually,
Oh, okay.
but Surrey is quite a big place.
It
isn't
is,
it?
yeah, I know.
Farnham,
Well, some
apparently.
people, yeah, but some
Farnham.
people don't like to, you know,
Especially
to know who
people
they
from
I
are.
want to narrow that down.
Because if they
Yeah.
said, I'm from Godalming, do you know what I mean?
But he was quite happy to go, I'm from Surrey.
Yeah, Surrey just sounds nice,
It's
doesn't
off
it?
here.
He said, he asked, what's the biggest mistake couples make? I think...
Getting
what,
married.
is that the question?
Getting
What's the
married.
he asked...
What's the biggest mistake I think the couples make is getting to the day. So you can stress about the wedding up until the day, but I think the biggest mistake is letting the day arrive and then continuing to stress about it.
Yeah.
I would say not having time to yourselves during the day.
Yeah, but I feel like we are in a position to fabricate that, and I always make sure I usually say, guys, go
Yeah.
and have 5 minutes yourself. So as long as you have good supplies, that'll happen anyway.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily on them.
I think couples overthink what they feel their guests should have. Like they think it's a full-on circus all day where their guests have to walk in the door and there is stuff going on at all points for them from start to finish.
Yeah.
Okay, but that kind of does remind me of like, so when you actually think about a wedding, right? Yes, the wedding is there predominantly because you want to tie the knot with your other half, right? But let's not sort of get it twisted, right? It's actually, you're putting on a party for all your guests.
Mm-hmm.
So I do agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, like, you know,
But you fucking don't, do you? Because you're literally doing a whole
what do you mean?
spiel about it.
No, I do get what you're saying, like, but actually I just disagree with it.
Yeah, there we go. So you're not.
No, I understand where you're coming from.
But like the ceremony is half an hour. Like if you can't not have a beer for half an hour at that point,
But you're
like,
not- but
you
you
know what I
don't-
mean. You got half an hour to do. You then got a couple of photos you got to be in. You can then do whatever you
Yeah,
want in
but
the
you don't-
afternoon.
you
But then
don't
you
get-
sit there for 3 courses.
But you don't get a guitarist or a harpist and a band and a DJ and a photo booth and like a fancy meal and all of that stuff. Not just for you two. You do it kind of to show off a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you want your guests to have a great time, and it is actually a lot about the guests. And this is what we talked about with the pie chart and what's important, because entertainment is actually for your guests, isn't it?
Yeah.
But couples, I don't think couples think about it. Like, especially in the evenings, it's like, okay, we're gonna, we've got a band. Okay, the band are gonna be on straight after the first dance. Then everyone goes outside. So for the first part of the band set that they've paid nearly 2-3 grand for, big entertainment, big part of the day.
Yeah.
They've missed it because it's a summer's wedding, so they've missed the first set.
Yeah.
Then you've got a photo booth in a separate room around the corner. So I'll tell you what, we'll spend another 500-600 quid and we
But
go, that's a great entertainment for our guests. But
Yeah, but
what we do
that's
is
not-
we put that there, we've got that there, we've got
Yeah.
a band going on
But that's
here.
not what you just said. You said that you think the couple worry too much about the guests having a good time.
No, it's the same principle. So
No,
then
it's
they're
not.
buying
That-
a photo
that's
booth,
about-
they're buying a band, they're buying a DJ, they're buying...
Because
so
what
they've
you
got...
then just said is actually about how they logistically go about doing it, right? So what you're saying is that you agree that the guests need to have a good time, but maybe just need to go about it in a bit more of a sensible, planned out, strategic way.
Yeah.
I've won this one. Don't act like
I don't think you have,
I
though.
have, because you basically just said that it should be all about the couple and not about the guests. But then if that's the case, then the couple are going to be having a great time,
No,
and
it
all
should
the
be
guests
about
are
the
going to be
guests
sat
as well,
around.
but not as like the whole thing is planned for your 100 people turning up. It's actually for the people who are getting married. That's what is there. That's why a wedding exists.
I think that is the misconception. I think that it's actually like subliminally more about the guests than it is about the couple, because
That's a big call for a wedding.
I'm just saying.
I am more on Dean's side of this, but
Go on, Amber.
Yeah.
I'm
think you
just
talk
saying.
too much about
I'm just
it.
saying. Why, if it was just all about you two, right? Then why would you spend
not
20, 30
I don't
grand
think it's just about
It's
you.
not
when
about
you
it.
could you go to a registry office and you could go on a cruise to Australia for 3 months? Like,
No, I think I think 50-50. Because I think, like, for example, right, this is like when I got married, I spent ages putting a playlist together of music to be in the background of the wedding breakfast.
Yeah.
I spent ages like crafting this playlist, and every song on that playlist I loved, right? However, I also made sure there were songs on there that I know my mum would have loved, and a mixture of genres.
Yeah.
So I made it to please myself.
Yeah.
Well, obviously I'm a wife, but also that other guests would enjoy as well.
Mm-hmm.
If I was just going to be selfish and make it about me, it would have just been like Oasis or whatever. You know what I mean? Like very one-sided. So I tried to make it a mixture to please everyone.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a small example.
Would you, if it was just you two in a room, would you go to that much trouble and that much cost? You go the
what,
extra
just-
mile because there are other people.
Yeah,
and basically,
exactly.
Yeah, but
all
I'm
of
talking
your-
about doing a marathon or doing a 10k. Like the couples are doing a marathon when they could get away with a 10k. That's my point. I think to think, oh yeah, I'm going to have this massive bougie thing and I'm going to get close to it and I'm going to do this, I'm going to put flip-flops on, I'm going to do everything possible.
You can go too
and
far.
then they've got a crowd who don't dance because they're not dancers. But what's the point in spending money at Temu on flip-flops, personalised? If you've got a crowd who dance, great, then focus on that and the band and
Yeah.
that's your thing. But
Yeah.
for me, couples don't. They will go, oh, I've been to a wedding fair and I saw this guy with candy floss. Everyone, not really, they're all like fit crew who are into nutrition, but we're just going to chuck loads of candy floss out because it's a thing, another thing to distract the whole of the world from a wedding. That's my point.
Okay.
For just like with everything in life, you can't please everyone.
No.
So even if it pleases like 20 people, the candy floss thing, and then the band pleases 50 people, and you know, there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you got to think about it. You're not. I mean, when the DJ plays the first dance song, 100 people might love that song as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter though, does it? Because it's your first dance.
Yeah.
The wedding breakfast food. Oh, it's pie and chips. Okay, 50 people might love pie and chips. The other 50 people might be like, oh, it's not my favourite, but fuck it. Do you know what I mean? You can't please everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You have got to be a bit selfish. Right, Jake from Surrey. I don't know if we answered your question, but
Maybe if you told us where you're actually from, we'd make more
we
of an
need to
effort.
wrap this up now. So I'll do one more. Poppy from Bournemouth.
No, do Zach from Boston.
Oh, I can't leave Poppy out now. I've just
Okay,
mentioned
go
it.
on then.
Quick, we'll answer this quickly.
Go on.
How to stay calm? How do you stay calm when you feel like things are falling apart? And I just think about this. Will it matter in 5 years?
Fair.
5 years or like next
Tomorrow.
week?
That was an example.
Ew, 5 years is
No.
too long.
Yeah, I reckon like
No, I don't mean-
5 days.
Yeah, like a week.
No, what I mean.
You know, I'm stressed about it for 5 years, and then they're like,
I think that's the big misconception
No.
with weddings.
I think
And I'll tell you for why.
you're misunderstanding what I mean. I don't mean you're going to fucking cry about it for 5 years. I mean, in 5 years' time, will you remember that? That's what I mean. I don't mean you're going to cry. about it for
Probably
5
if you
years.
thought about it for 5 years.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Sorry. Okay.
I get what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The registrar that forgot to do
No.
the ring, she's probably thought about that every
Okay.
time she's done the ceremony ever since.
The wedding cake was a bit dry. Okay, it's a shame. In 5 years' time, when you think about your wedding, are you going to be like, "Oh, do you remember the wedding cake was really dry"?
Yeah, I think you would.
No. What?
Well, we keep talking about Amber's ice one, haven't we?
Oh, fuck me. Right. Okay.
Sorry, Poppy.
We better wrap this up because we're running out of time. Anyway, look, I hope you enjoyed that episode about wedding dramas. So just remember, if guests don't know it was meant to happen, it's not a problem, okay? So don't sweat the small stuff. Next episode, we're going to be talking about destination weddings, okay? So make sure you email us any questions you've got about weddings abroad at islafterparty@gmail.com. But yeah, for this episode, that was us. So, all right, I'll be back. Thanks. Bye for now.